We continue to preview the 2025 college volleyball season. Our stop today is Mesa, Arizona, no matter what time zone it happens to be in. And trust me, I've thought 2 or 3 time zones on this one. It's a privilege to get to visit with the new head coach for the indoor volleyball team, Coach Madison Kindle. Coach, I know you're an alum of the program. I want to say, first off, though, congratulations on this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited to be back and excited to be closer to family.
When you think back to being a part of this team too, because you're an alum, but you were also on the inaugural team to play there. This goes back to 2014. It's a relatively young program. You played not only indoor volleyball, but beach volleyball as well. Tell us a little bit about your time.
Yeah, loved my experience, loved getting to kind of just build the program from scratch. Um, Our coach, Sonia Jones, did a wonderful job throughout her tenure there. Again, just kind of creating the foundation, and we had successful seasons, and it was really kind of cool to see the success after we left, and now being back into it, kind of seeing the same things, some of the same things that we did back in the day. So it's kind of cool to see, again, the foundations that we laid, continued on years afterwards. So that piece was really, really cool. Obviously, still a young school, young program, and there's still a lot that we can do. One thing that's very new for the program this year is we are splitting both the indoor and the beach program. So this year coming in was just heavily recruiting on the indoor side. So we won't have as many crossover players. And so that will allow us to get a true off season. Prior, there wasn't many opportunities on the indoor side to get reps in the springtime. And for those who, spring season is huge. And so now to have the ability to do that in the off seasons, I think can really help this program. And it'll help with the transition, for me, integrating all of the technical and just cultural side of things too in the off season. It'll allow us to really develop in the off season and not having to just fully do all of that in the fall. So it'll take a lot of pressure off of me, my coaching staff, as well as the players as well. So we're excited.
I completely understand. And there's a lot that goes into that. Well, let me ask them, since your announcement and you've had spring, which I know we're heading into summer right now, did you have enough time in the spring to really then recruit some? How's the recruiting gone? Have you been able to bring in players both from high school or also transfers?
Yeah, a good mixture of both, I would say. Easier on the transfer side, just with, I'd say females like to make their decisions a little earlier. So there wasn't too many freshmen quite out there. Thankfully, we were able to snag a few, but we had more success on the transfer side. So just kind of went in, dug deep. We have 9 currently, looking for a couple more. We had a huge senior graduating class, so kind of looking to bring in, a huge recruiting class this year too, to kind of make their mark. So.
All right, we're visiting with Madison Kindle, the new head volleyball coach for the Benedictine Mesa Redhawks. Coach, you inherited a team that's 21-8, by the way, too. I'm sure that's not lost on you. 11-3 in conference play. There are, I'm sure, pros and cons to that. Can you talk about that just a little bit? I mean, it's a team that you talked about it too, so it has had success.
Yeah, we've had success the past couple of seasons. Being on the alumni side, just seeing that was really awesome. Just cheering them on. The previous school I was at, we didn't necessarily get the chance to make nationals. So once nationals hit, I was definitely a true Red Hawk on that side. So inheriting that piece, obviously there's a little bit of pressure, but I'm grateful for the support that we have, both on the alum side, just my mentors in general, and then the administration, to kind of do what we can. It's going to be a rebuilding year. But I'm just really excited to bring in a big class that can, come in and, like I said, kind of make their mark right away. Again, as well as having, returners that, are just awesome people, and they have some talent with them as well. So best of both worlds coming in.
Well, that's cool. I love that positive attitude. Love that from the perspective of all of that. Among those coming back, then now let's talk about previewing 2025. Have at least one senior coming back. You did have a lot of seniors from that previous group, as you mentioned, that have moved on. Rayleigh Druxman coming back, second on the team in kills per set. Talk about your offense. Will some of the offense continue to go through her, and who else might step up?
Yeah, definitely through her. If we can get her healthy right now, she went through a spring injury, so trying to get her recovered. And then we got a couple people coming back that didn't necessarily make a huge mark last year, but was more on the depth side of things. We got Sophie, we have Maya, we have Lily coming back, all who are young that want to get better, which is huge. You can't really coach somebody who doesn't want to be coached. So all of them want to be coached, which is great. And again, they all have strengths about them that are all different. So I think that's something that is going to be really great for us to be able to utilize. So on the offensive end, that's who we have returning. And everybody else pretty much graduated. So.
Well, then let me ask that about the defensive side too, because in through all that, I mean, you're at least from a statistical production standpoint, digs, blocks, so many things that you lose to graduation. Who may be stepping up for you on the back line or on that defensive side?
Yeah. I don't know if there's anybody necessarily stepping up this year. I think we've had to recruit that piece, especially in the DS Lib role. We're bringing in a couple that have, really great experience, which we're really excited about. I think that's a position both on the young and the old end that people are coming in, and it's going to be a great competition for that role. So I'm really, really excited about that piece. Again, we have like somebody who's coming in for her last year. We have a freshman that's coming in. They're all really, really talented. So I'm really excited I think that piece we'll see a very seamless transition where I would say at the beginning of the recruiting process, I was like, how are we going to replace, a 2-3-time All-American, Hattie Patton. So I think we have people that can replace that piece pretty seamlessly. So we're excited.
All right, Coach, it had come to my attention or brought to my attention that I was asking football coaches this in our previews and not the volleyball coaches. I recognize that you were born in the 90s, but I'm going to ask this question anyway from a personal standpoint. We'll see where we go with this and how this goes for the future. But I have to ask, favorite 80s song or 80s band? And is there anything in the repertoire that goes that far back? Or do you even listen to that kind of stuff in the weight room?
I personally do not, and I don't think team-wise we do. And my parents would totally be upset with me because they play that kind of music all the time. But the only thing that pops into my head is when I was in high school, I did in a history class, we had the decade 80s. And the only thing that pops into my head in history class, yeah. And that I think that was like the oldest group. So we got fairly lucky. But the only thing that pops into my head, and it's not a song or an artist, it's a movie. But all the songs on there I love, and that's The Breakfast Club.
Okay. That'll work. Don't you forget about me. That'll work. We'll go with that. History class, Coach. That one may stick with me for a while. You need to send this link to your parents, definitely, so they can at least see this segment and let them talk about that. That'll be fun around the dinner table. Okay, I just had to ask. Let's move from there if we can. I don't know how seamless this is, but we'll go ahead and move on into the schedule portion right now. You have the Great Southwest, formerly Golden State Conference schedule, Great Southwest schedule. But prior to that, you start things off at Hope International and some more matches. Tell us about the opening to your schedule.
Yeah. We're in that Hope International tournament, like you said, and that's something we committed to prior to me coming in. But I'm really excited about it. There's some really competitive teams in that tournament, and that we're playing that kind of some. I previously was in the Midwest, and so we got a couple Midwest teams that I'm excited to kind of compete against. And then a couple of our non-conference games after that tournament, I'm very familiar with. I either played them when I was a player, or I played them at previous schools that I was at. So I'm very familiar with them. And like I said, with just how competitive our conference is, I'm excited to kind of get a little bit of that in non-conference, and kind of get our feet wet too. And it's going to be a new offensive and a new defensive system, so it's going to take time to kind of get acclimated to. So I think our schedule really perfectly reflects kind of the time frame that we'll need to get ready for conference play. So.
All right. Well, congratulations on your opportunity, Coach. It's an exciting time, I'm sure, for you and for the program to have an alum back, someone with success. And, you've gone out, now you're coming back home and getting to bring those things that you've learned back and implement them. So we look forward to following the Redhawks this season. We will do just that. Coach Madison Kindle, the new head volleyball coach for the Benedictine Mesa Redhawks. Thank you so much, Coach, for taking time with us today.
Thank you for having me.